Okay, I have another question for you. And I think the next question for me has become guidance um, in my communication with entrepreneurs, with my coaches, with the members of our ecosystem. Because um, something I realized in the last few years, I have to tell you a little bit of a story for this, is that more people want to be independent, to be self-employed, to create their own company, to be creative, to live their purpose, to take time to bring their assets, their skill, their creativity into the world. They feel that they want to contribute themselves or whatever knowledge, experience they have to create something positive in the world. They really want to do that. And for them to do this, they feel a need to leave their jobs or maybe create a part-time job or launch a company on the side. And there are many ways to do it. It's not always necessary to leave your job, but many people think that that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
But when I talk to them and they say, yeah, I want to do this and I'm going to take a course because that's what we do, we help people to start a company. And when we come to the point of marketing and creativity, how communicative value, say, okay, just awesome, I want to do that. But suddenly you start noticing attention building up and a fear building up. And when we come to the point of sales and communication, to going out, to sharing the value, to telling the story, first to telling the story, to communicate the value of what I do. And then later on to really cut the deal, because after you get the people interested, you need to have a conversation and be able to say, okay, this is the value of what I do. This is how much it costs. You're going to buy it now, right? And you need to let them decide that they want to do this. And when you talk with them, and probably 90% of the people will come, okay, live your purpose, do your own thing, present your business. But then you have to sell. You have to be able to cut the deal. And they have such a negative perception of sales and money, right? It's, oh, I don't want to do that. I don't do this. That's not my thing. And I ask him, but that's the only way you can connect with the people you want to serve, you want to collaborate with your creativity. Yeah, but I don't feel that that's a good thing to do. So I can tell you more about what I've done, about helping them to create a positive, perception of sales. But that's part of your work, yeah? You're working with them in marketing, communication, but they have to sell. So what have you learned about this?
Yeah, for me, like selling, it's like something I keep on learning every day, right? Because it's like, I know how to sell a brand, like how to communicate it. At the end, like I'm not like specific on marketing, but I how to tell the story. But selling, I think it's an important skill, but not everyone got it, right? Like, yeah, I feel like in a way you need to learn how to sell, but first, like, be sure what you're selling, right? Mm-hmm. If not, it's like you're sending quotes, you're sending like, okay, like you said, like earning money, maybe, okay, I need a new job. So on a way, it's like, again, find this balance and not get involved with desperation, right? Just selling it. But I feel like the best seller is the people involved with it, right? Like we said, like the culture at the end is what sells the product, right? Like, because they really believe on it. But yeah, I must say, like, selling takes a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of frustration, right?
Yeah, it could be, but you're very right.
Learn from it.
You need to learn from it. Yeah, that's true. I mean, once I heard the story, like, I'm not sure about the numbers, but something like, I mean, maybe 70, 80% of the people that you communicate with may not be ready to purchase right now. But it doesn't mean that they are not interested. Maybe only 5-10% really don't want it, and the rest just don't have the right conditions. It's not the right time. They're busy, they don't have the money right now, but they really would buy it if they would have the right conditions. But normally we take every no as a frustrating failure.
Yeah.
And it's not that way. Actually, it's a learning process to understand what situation have the customers and learn the strategies to really include them all in any situation they have. Maybe they don't buy today, but they buy later, right? And we build relationships with the people that really appreciate what we do. And I think that's a great key between marketing, communication of value, and building up the relationships, and selling, which is closing a deal. You know, selling comes after. It's a difference.
Yeah, definitely. And also, like, something comes to my mind, like maybe we can talk about connections and like conversion, right? Because it's like I used to work in media also, and I was working more with like with numbers. Okay, like here's the audience and everything. So I'm a really good reader of patterns nowadays. But what I do with those numbers, I create insights, right? I bring like, yeah, new ideas or new paths to get like to the strategy. But at the end, it's like if we stay a little bit away from the word sales, that it's like Super Bowl, it's like, okay, let's talk about connections, because for sure, like you as an entrepreneur, you can show your work in different places, right? In different platforms, in different ways, with different with your own tone. Like for example, like sharing what you are doing, what you think, which are your habits, right? At the end, because that's part, like we said at the beginning, of your mind. So in a way, I feel like you need to start like surfing this journey, right? Like, and you need to try and learn, try and learn. For me, like the selling part, sometimes it becomes like, okay, how should I do it? And maybe you find like you read, but at the end it's like, okay, but I'm not like that. And maybe you listen to podcasts and it's like, oh, I'm not that kind of like pushy kind of person, but more like, okay, let's see what meet, right? Like connect, talk, and see how we can empower, right?
Yeah.
How I can help you, because at the end, yeah, I want to help people.
I think that's the most important. Thank you for saying that, because you,
Yeah.
the human connection, you know, that's so natural. In the old markets, you know, people will go arrive to the market, talk to each other, find what they need, and trade and exchange and support each other. When you are traveling, you meet also people, you understand where you're going, here I'm going there, you're going there, what do you need, and you help each other. The basic of trading is about helping each other, you know, solve a need, achieve a goal. And when you create a product, you want to help people with that. And I think at the end, that's the most important thing, that with our creativity, we can serve people. And I will never be tired of repeating this. You're calling it connection. I think connection, conversation, sharing value, it's so natural for human beings. And it's so natural for us also to meet somebody, listen to the needs, and say, yeah, I have this information that can help you. I have that skill that can help you. You know, that's so natural. And I think instead of selling, we probably can think more about how to serve others, and communicating with them actually help us to help them to help themselves through us, right? And if we see from that perspective, then it's a very honorable and really appreciated practice, how to listen to each other and to communicate with each other so that we can help each other realize our vision, our future, our dreams, and, you know, solve our problems. And at the end, that's all that it means, right? And the part of economic transaction, I think it's also an important element of selling, because you're acknowledging not the time, but the value of the contribution, and also acknowledging the value of the person, because you want that other person that gives you the service to be happy and realize their own dreams too. You know, it's a level of, you know, respect for each other that plays, you know, a role there. I think there is so much that we can learn about sales and communication, you know, for business too. But at the beginning,
Definitely.
yeah, it's challenging, I think, for people.
Yeah, and you know, like for me, strategy is part of that journey. It's the beginning, right? Because when you got your playbook and you feel like really it resonates with you, it's your brand, right? So what I mean is, like, as I said with creativity, if you're organized and you have a structure, your creative process will work better, right? Because it's like, you know, you got like, okay, I've done this, now I can take my time to chill and like play a little bit. So with the brand also, if you got like settle the basic things, that your core values, So you know where to play, right? You got your framework and you know you will play there, and it's good that you're playing there. So I feel it's super important to keep that in mind. So, you know, at the end, what to say, right? What to share, what to, yeah, how to, at the end, like, translate people what you got to offer, right?
Right. There's something
Your
that you
pitch.
mentioned briefly right now that I find so important, because you have this framework, right? Information with your brand and
Yeah,
all the communication work you've done, all the research. You have a book in which you know this is your company, this is your product, this is your culture,
yeah,
this is you, right? But now authenticity plays a role. We were talking about that before, but how challenging it is for people to really stick with the plan, you know, to really become a representative of that culture, of that value, of that idea, of that concept. And I think that that discipline probably is what is required, that probably many people, you know, don't understand. You cannot just write a book and say, okay, here it is, but do something completely different when you're communicating with the customers,
yeah.
right? That consistency is so important, requires discipline and training. Yeah, I find that a topic for a gap, you know, something to try to pay attention to. Have you met many people also that are super satisfied with the brand, with the concept, but when they are executing, they go somewhere else, you know, completely different direction? Is that common to happen?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. But you know, also what I was thinking is like, I know you can go, for example, to Disney. That comes to my mind, right? Because I used to work with Disney, and the vision has always been the same, right? Indeed, they turn 100 years, I think, like in this month. And it's like creating joy, entertaining people. And you can see that everywhere. In what they do,
Yeah.
they always get to that, right? They always provoke that. They always create that emotion, those memories. So at the end, that's the best part of like having this plan, like you said, and using it, right?
Right.
But it needs to resonate with you. So that connects with something that we spoke about, like it needs to be built. I can translate it. I got the skills to make it shorter, sexy, everything. But at the end, it's like what you want to say. So that's why I work like through collaboration, right? Like, what do you
Right.
want to bring to this brand? Let's do it together. I will make it like I said, like a document. But at the end, it's like what you need to bring to this. And
Yeah, I'm just thinking right now with internet and social media, you have many individual brands, influencers, many products. There's so much being sold. I don't believe the market is saturated. I think there is a space for so many identities, so many qualities to come
yeah,
to the
yeah,
market. Yet there is a challenge on authenticity, right? On
yeah.
really telling your real story and learning how to express it. And I think that's a good place to invest in the future. Yet I see many things evolving and changing. How do you think is going to be the future of marketing, communication, sales? What will be the challenges in the future? Um, what entrepreneurs need to expect? You know, how to prepare themselves for that future.
Yeah, I think it's like saying less. Maybe. Yeah. You know, one of my mottos that it's not mine, but less is more, that's from an architecture, Mies van der Rohe, that it's like, yeah, less is more, right? And I always use it for myself. And in a way, it's like, you don't need to be everywhere. You need to be where you want to be and where you need, like, where you really, like, your people are, right? I was going to tell you this also, like, maybe we used to think like connecting like 1 million people, followers, but now I feel it has to do more with a niche, right? Like, and then if they connect with your brand, it's like Patagonia. They became advocates, right? Indeed,
Yeah.
people wear t-shirts that it's like it's Patagonia. You're working for Patagonia, and it's like no, but I like wearing it, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
they really connect with their beliefs, with their values, and they feel proud about using it, right? Feel proud, sorry. So at the end, I feel like the evolution should be like saying less, but also like paying attention to not only the young generations, but also the grown-ups, we can say.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like new generations, they want to be purposeful and they want to change their habits, but they're like really big consumers of fast fashion, we can say.
Right.
But then we got the senior, right? Like we can say like 50 years old and more and older. And I feel that's really a really nice community to connect with. And maybe some brands are kind of forgetting about them.
Okay.
And they're like people that has a lot of knowledge, a lot of economic access also. And they're building like different lifestyles. And I feel like it's becoming like, I know in communication, we always try to reach like the youngest, that for me, they're super inspiring, huh? Because it's like, yeah, they think different, right? They're new, they're virgin in their minds. So, but what I find is like, we will have like different communities to connect with. And that's wonderful because also we can interconnect them.
Yes, I think so. I mean, I'm listening to keywords here: minimalist, organic, and multi-generational, right?
No.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great. It's really nice analysis.